Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we have a couple of very interesting things to talk about. First and foremost, just a couple of days ago, we watched a whale move $358 million worth of Bitcoin. That's nearly 48,000 Bitcoin for 63 cents. That is an incredible number because it highlights one of the biggest selling points for Bitcoin, its very low transaction costs. We're going to be talking about that later, but before we get to that, there's quite a bit of analysis that I want to do on today's market, and I want to talk to you about how volatility and volume and seemingly investor interest is returning to crypto in a pretty big way. We've got a lot to talk about in today's video, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. If you do, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And one thing I also want to remind you to do, follow me on Twitter at CryptoJeb. That'll be right down here. I post over there daily, or I'm at least trying to, so go and follow me. Give me some motivation to keep posting over there. I want to grow on Twitter. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Good morning. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend. I decided to let myself sleep in this weekend, so I apologize if the video's out late, but, you know, we're here. We're here now, so let's jump onto the chart. Guys, there is actually quite a lot that I want to talk about in today's video. One of the first things I want to do is just a little bit of short-term technical analysis and show you how in yesterday's video we were talking about Bitcoin had a little bit of like a 5-hour or so downtrend here, but ever since then, Bitcoin's actually been trending back up to our flat level of resistance at $7,600. One thing you're going to notice here is that, guys, Bitcoin's trading perfectly sideways over the last 48 hours. What that means is that the bulls and the bears are in a deadlock right now, and they're very evenly matched because there's not a lot of volatility going on the very short term. We're going to be talking about increased volatility in this video, but that's on the longer term. On the short term, there's not much. Now remember here, we are in some kind of a bull flag, so Bitcoin should be expected to break bullish out of this, and because of everything else we're talking about in this video, I do think that Bitcoin's going to break bullish on this. If it doesn't, then we have a pretty strong level of support at this downtrend right here. So two scenarios that I see on the short term: Bitcoin falls down here and bounces, or Bitcoin just straight up breaks out. Either way, I see the next 7 days or so being quite bullish for Bitcoin. One thing I also want to point out, guys, is that you see these two trend lines, this downtrend right here and this flat level right there. Those are blue now. Those used to be red for resistance just a few days ago. Bitcoin has broken through both of them, and don't make any mistake, both of those were very powerful. This downtrend had been in effect since the beginning of the year, and this flat level right here, Bitcoin had been using it as resistance for about a week and a half. That's pretty big that we're above those and staying above those. In fact, on top of that, we have 5 green candlesticks in a row on Bitcoin. Now, we did see kind of a little spinning top here, which signals indecision, but like I said, we're looking at a pretty neutral market right now. Indecision is a bit of a synonym for that, so that makes sense. As far as the longer term is concerned, though, guys, I want to point your attention to the bottom of our chart. I want you to take a look down here at the volume. As you can see, in 2019, the first half of 2019, we had a significant amount of volume as Bitcoin was starting to rally here all the way up to $14,000. There's quite a bit of volume and thereby also volatility and investor interest in the space. Unfortunately, when Bitcoin hit the high up here, that volume very quickly deteriorated, and from about September all the way until the beginning of March, volume was extremely low. Again, that means that volatility was decreasing, and it also means that investor interest on the outside was probably decreasing as well. But notice what happened here on March the 12th when Bitcoin literally pulled back 50% in a day. We saw a massive volume candlestick right here, and ever since then, our volume has been higher than it was before. You can see that in the 20 moving average. If you guys didn't know this, because I didn't know this for about the first year I was doing technical analysis, this line down here, it's a 50 moving average going through the volume, and as you can see, when we had this massive spike, it moved up here. Look at where this volume average is sitting right here compared to all of this time back here. Bitcoin's volume is significantly higher than it was. And that's a very good sign because I was showing you that on the Bitfinex chart, that shows up on the Coinbase chart, the BLX chart, everywhere. We didn't see a massive increase in wash trading or leverage trading on exchanges or anything happen recently that would have led to fake volume numbers. That is a genuine increase in volume, probably because Bitcoin crashed. A lot of people were like, wow, Bitcoin's trading below $6,000. Let's get some. Wow. Bitcoin's trading below $7,000. Let's get some. And those people are coming back into the space. It's actually really exciting what we're seeing right now. This Black Swan event may have ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to Bitcoin, because at the exact time when Bitcoin needed investor interest coming into the space, right before a halving, we're getting it. And that leads me to another point, guys. The halving is coming up in less than a month. In about 15 days, there's going to be a massive fundamental shift on Bitcoin. And I know some people have said, oh, well, Jeb, the halving affects miners, not traders. But the thing is, everybody has their attention on it. All eyes are on the halving. It is going to have an impact. Historically, the last 2 times we've seen halvings, normally it results in maybe a month of downtrend. But in the long term, that stock-to-flow ratio increasing drives Bitcoin to the moon. Guys, Bitcoin is looking very pretty right now, and I'm really excited to be investing at these levels. Even more than that, though, guys, there is one more thing I want to mention, and that is the discrepancy between the way that Bitcoin handles currency and finance and the way that the Federal Reserve and many other central banks around the world are doing it. A lot of people call Bitcoin hard money. The reason it's called hard money is because you can't just print money out of thin air. It's not a money printer like the U.S. Federal Reserve. It instead has the halving built into it, so only so much Bitcoin will be produced at any time. And actually, I would argue, I don't think we have exact data on this right now. It's not really something you can have exact data on, but I'm pretty sure that deflation on Bitcoin is going to be happening after this halving, because 6.25 Bitcoin per block, I have a feeling 6.25 Bitcoin are being lost somewhere in the world every 10 minutes. Maybe not. Maybe we have to wait another halving or two for Bitcoin to be a true deflationary currency. But in time, that's what's going to happen. It was designed to be that way. While the U.S. Federal Reserve is printing money out of thin air, yes, which is effective on the short term, who knows what the long-term results are, you can't do that with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were in the place of the U.S. dollar, you would have to use other, more fiscally responsible ways of stimulating the economy, or just let the thing fix itself on its own. There are a lot of fundamental foundational issues in our economy that quantitative easing is just putting a Band-Aid on and letting our kids deal with. All of that leading me to the point that over the last 10 years, since 2009, after the housing crisis, people have seen Bitcoin rally and rally and rally. The reason they've seen that is because more and more people are starting to see the flaws and the cracks in our current financial system, and they realize that we need something like hard money. We need something like Bitcoin. Guys, I'm not here to tell you that the 2020s are going to be Bitcoin's decade. I don't even know if the 2030s are going to be Bitcoin's decade, but sometime before halfway through this century, Bitcoin is going to get massive, and is going to happen because of the flaws in our current financial system. Mark my words. With that said, that leads me to the last thing that I want to cheerlead Bitcoin on about, and that would be stupidly low transaction costs. As you guys may know, people keep an eye on the Bitcoin blockchain because it's a public ledger, and we can kind of pay attention to where a bunch of Bitcoin is going. $358 million worth of Bitcoin were just moved, and that happened for 63 cents. Bitcoin and Ethereum whales move whopping $358 million in crypto. Now, this isn't the first article I was reading on this, but I do remember them saying that they moved collectively, between everything they moved, about 48,741 Bitcoin, if my memory serves correctly, and they did it for 63 cents in transaction fees. To get a bank to move $358 million alone, to get them to approve it, would be very difficult. To get them to do it for 63 cents would be unheard of. The second coming of Christ will happen before that happens, okay? You don't move $400 million without someone wondering, what are you doing with that? Or also someone saying, okay, we'll move your $400 million, but you're going to have to pay us $10 million to do it in transaction fees because it's going to take a lot of time. The global banking system is extremely slow with international transfers and large transfers. There is only one place that you can move $400 million for less than $1 in transaction costs and have it done in 10 minutes, and that, my friends, is the cryptocurrency industry. Sometimes we lose track of, why is Bitcoin even worthwhile? Why are we even in cryptocurrency? What's even the point of being invested in this thing? What's the use case? Where is this all going? Remember, there are a lot of very good fundamental reasons for Bitcoin to be mass adopted. This is one of them. You get the millionaires and the billionaires behind it trying to move $50 million. They're not going to want to do it on the bank side if they can move it in 10 minutes in cryptocurrency. I want you to be thinking about that, because it's that long term, it's that vision, it's that dream that drives your motivation and your ambition to continue working in anything. Cryptocurrencies are no different. So guys, this video was a little bit of a rant. I hope you did get a lot of value out of it. I tried to cram as much as I possibly can in there and, squeeze blood out of a rock for today. Not much is going on in the market, but I want you guys, when nothing is really going on in the market, to remember to focus on the long-term vision. What's the play here? What's the game here? Where are we going? What is all of this for? Are you doing it to just make a crap ton of money, or do you enjoy the process? I enjoy the process. It was never about the money. I enjoy making these videos, and I enjoy trading and investing just as much now as I did the very first day, because it was never about the money. It was about the experience and the game and the fun of it. So I want you guys to remember that also. It's really important. If you want to do anything big, you gotta love the process. If you want to see the view at the top of the mountain, you gotta love the climb. It's really that simple. So guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. I hope you did enjoy today's video. As always, if you did, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel when you do that. And also make sure to follow me on Twitter at CryptoJeb. That'll be right down here. I'm gonna be trying to post over there daily. I need you guys to, like, every day that I forget to post on Twitter, I want you to DM me on Twitter and say, Jeb, what are you doing? You said you were going to post. Are you a man of your word? Call me out. I'll fix it. I promise. Hold me accountable, guys. Help me out here. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do first want to humbly thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good